Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is January 25th, 2024. Lee, how we doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, bud. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good myself. I guess the big news of the week for the Steelers is Terrell Austin has signed a 2-year extension
Yeah.
to come back as
hmm
the defensive coordinator. I mean, the scoring defense has been great the last 2 years. I think that's the
Yeah.
main reason he's coming back, and it's. I know there's been talk between us about him getting a new guy in there, but I think, like I was saying, for the most part, it would be tough to replace a guy
Yeah.
like that at this situation. But how you feeling about that move?
Yeah. Uh, like you said, the scoring defense has been great. We had a lot of injuries this year, so we can't place all the blame on him. So, maybe with full health, maybe the defense is a lot better and making more plays. So hopefully, next season, we get to make those plays and get all the turnovers that we wanted, maybe keeping the scoring down lower even more, but I think it's a decent move. I think, like you said, he's been a decent coordinator for us, and I'm excited to see where he takes us defensively for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I just the injuries is a big point of the season, I
Yeah.
think, and it's
Yeah.
it's just I just can't see any way you could have let him go,
Yeah.
even with like the yardage that they gave up this year, and
Yeah.
maybe some. There are times when this team doesn't get the stops you need, and that was like a main thing in the playoff game too.
Oh
But
yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
I think he's a pretty good coach, even if he hasn't been performing to everyone's level that
Yeah.
they want him to. And I have no problem with him staying around for at least 2 more years. It looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, before that Austin news, I figured the main topic conversation we could have this week, and I guess it's still going to be that is Steelers roster crunch.
Yeah.
I figured we can go through some of the notable free agents that we have this offseason, then some other guys that may be cut. But how about we start with some of those potential
Okay.
free
Yeah.
agents here?
Sounds good.
So big names on top, I think, on this list would be Mason Rudolph. He's the main
hmm
free agent we got going on this year. I think both of us
Yeah.
would like to see him back at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to see him come back and give Kenny some competition. I think the Steelers maybe should go out and look for somebody else as well, maybe a nice veteran. But I think what Mason showed over those last 4 weeks of the season that we did have, including that wild card playoff game, I think he was pretty decent in that, and it seemed like a lot of the players were behind him. So, um, uh, and they the offense moved down the field, and I'd like to see him come back. But if he gets a big time contract somewhere else, I mean, hey, might as well take it. But I'd like to see him come back.
Yeah, I think that the way he played down the stretch, the one concern would be that he has a market now that there may be a lot of
Yeah.
teams that would want to bring him in.
hmm
Now it's not just a matter of if the Steelers want him. I mean, it's a big difference from last offseason where he was
Yeah.
just available to everyone and no one wanted him, and the Steelers got him back cheap.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I, if you look at look what Mitch got when we signed him money wise. I mean, is it insane to think that Rudolph might get 10 million from some team during the
I don't
offseason?
think
I
so at
don't think
all.
so. And then
No, I don't think
did the
so at all.
Steelers do the Steelers want to give him 10 million? Because then you're going to be giving him 10 million. You can cut. We're going to talk about. You can cut Mitch, but you're still going to be paying him some dead money, and then you're going to be
Yeah.
paying Kenny. And so if you want to bring in another veteran, if you're bringing in Mason, that the pool of veterans that you can bring in definitely shrinks, I think.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. At that point, yeah.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Maybe he wants to move on. Even I could see a scenario where
hmm
the fact that he's being told he's not QB1,
Yeah.
maybe that'll affect him. Who knows what happened during their exit interviews? Though he could have been
hmm
told, "Hey, this is a public thing, but we got you coming. We want you back and all that
Yeah.
stuff." But
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
be. I think of this list, he's the most interesting name just to go through. Really, on offense, there's not too many more guys that are
No.
actual unrestricted free agents. Miles Boykin, I mean, he's been a special teams guy. if he wants to come back, sure, but you can replace him with someone else.
Oh yeah,
Continuity and special teams, I'm sure, is something nice, but who knows?
yeah, yeah.
Um, Watson, Adams, two offensive linemen. Of the two, I would definitely see Adams as a guy that you would want back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a solid player, good
Yeah,
depth piece. With
yeah,
Benton coming on, though, you wonder maybe they'll just move on to Benton and find another guy that may be a little cheaper than Adams is in
yeah.
free agency, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe someone in the draft, even another young guy there, because you're going to be having to replace people like Hayward and stuff in the future here in
Yeah,
the interior
yeah,
line.
yep.
And then Marcus Golden, I think he played well down the stretch with
Y-
TJ out those last couple games,
Yeah.
so he's a nice little piece. And I'll be curious to see
Mm-hmm.
what they do there if they want to keep him around. I'm sure there'll
Yeah.
be teams going around having interest in him. He's a veteran. But
Mm-hmm.
I go through those three linemen there I just mentioned. What are you thinking on those guys? Any
Yeah, I mean,
additional
I
thoughts?
mean, yeah, like you said, Golden definitely played well, and I think with with now us having Benton, having drafted him, I think he's probably going to be our guy moving forward. So yeah, you could probably you'd like to keep Watson Adams, but if the money's not going to be feasible there, you might just have to move on, like you said, because um, we're going to have to acquire new people once Cameron Hayward retires. And like I said, Benton's going to be the guy moving forward. So, but I think out of those three, I think Golden might be the one you might want to keep around just as a backup in case TJ gets hurt again or Highsmith is injured.
Yeah, and then moving on to these linebackers, Michael Walker came in, played a little bit once the injuries happened. Blake
Mm-hmm.
Martinez,
Mm-hmm.
I think they brought him in mid-season, maybe it was in the preseason though, I can't remember for sure.
Yeah.
And then Quan Alexander, who was hurt most of the year. Um, I think all those guys are people you can pick up and find in free agency. I don't think anything special about them. Maybe
Yeah.
Walker is someone that you can keep on just because I don't think there's going to be a big market for him either. And
Yeah.
he was something there. I don't think any of the. I mean, well, Quan Alexander, I guess, would be starter material, but the
Yeah.
other guys, I don't see that there for them. Um,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate with Quan that he really never got to get his feet set here in Pittsburgh, but
Yeah. Because he
it's the way it
actually
is.
he won the game for us. I think it was a Titans game before he got injured. He got that interception at the end of the game, won the game for us. With that interception. So, and I think he was making a lot of key plays for sure before he got injured. Helping. Um, maybe for me that would maybe the guy I'd say maybe keep around, but if he's getting paid somewhere else, maybe take it. Got to do what's best for
Yeah.
them. At the end of the day.
Yep. And then just a couple more cornerbacks, Levi Wallace and Shannon Sullivan. Sullivan played a lot in the slot throughout the year. I thought he was a nice little piece for the Steelers. And then
Mm-hmm.
Levi Wallace, I think it's been an odd relationship. Sometimes he's in there as a
Yeah.
starter, sometimes he's not even on the field. But I think
Yeah.
he's someone that's probably going to move on. But what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
these two guys?
Yeah, for sure. Uh, I, I didn't. Levi Wallace's play during the season wasn't as great as I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, they both played decent. They stepped in when they could with all the injuries that we did have. But I mean, I think the Steelers need to go out and look for some new cornerbacks. To be honest, I mean, I know we got Joey Porter Jr. back there, but I think they need to go look for somebody else as well to bring in.
Yeah, I definitely think that's still somewhere they can look for the draft too.
Yeah.
Another young guy in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And cornerback's position, you can. I'm willing to spend a first round pick on a cornerback for
Yeah.
sure, especially in the
Yeah.
way the league's going, the way it's pass
Mm-hmm.
happy and everything like that now. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
that the Joey Porter Jr. Pick is looking amazing to get him
Yeah.
in the second round. And to
Yeah.
see,
He's
I
up
mean, it's the
for.
chase.
I think he's up for Defensive Rookie of the Year right now. He's
Yeah,
in
it'll be
the.
interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
And
Uh huh.
just Chase Claypool was how we got that pick, and
Yeah.
um, he's been just invisible since he left the Steelers.
Oh yeah. For sure. For
Uh,
sure.
But so those are the actual free agents. But here are some names that Spot Track thinks may be available, or not. I guess not available, unavailable because they're being cut. But here's some names
Mhm.
that they could see the Steelers getting rid of this offseason. Main one on top, I think the biggest name. I know there's some names on here. I won't say that, but
Yeah.
Mitch, I think you're only going to save 2.9 million by releasing him, but I still think he's done here in Pittsburgh. Yeah, after
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stretch of games towards the end of the season,
Yeah.
you can't use him. He's done in my eyes.
Yeah. 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 I agree. There was no like big plays that he really even made for us. I mean, we didn't see much from Mitch, and we talked about it during the season. We knew he wasn't the guy moving forward, and he just there was nothing that he contributed to helping the Steelers at all, So I think he's definitely somebody that's probably going to be gone here pretty soon.
Uh-huh. And then Robinson, just because of that number, I don't think you can keep him around. You can save 10 million
Nah.
by getting rid of him. I think that's something you make because right now they are over the cap a little, and you're going to want to make some moves this offseason. And I think that 10 million can be spent other places
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, the Steelers do pretty well with not even just like picking up wide receivers, but drafting them. I mean, they're one of the better teams that I've noticed over the years with drafting
Mm-hmm.
wide receivers, and I think they could definitely pick up another guy in the draft for sure or find somebody else in free agency. I mean, Allen Robinson, he barely played and I don't know if he even had 10 catches this season, to be honest. So I don't know what he didn't really contribute at all. I mean, the years he had with the Rams, I mean, he seemed like he was a decent wide receiver, on the other side of Cooper Kupp, but I don't know, he came here and it wasn't really effective at all. So, I could definitely see him being cut as well.
Yeah, definitely for the money he was making, it is unfortunate how it turned out, and it
Mm-hmm.
does kind of suck for him. It seemed like during the season they pretty much had him just going in motion and working him as a
Yeah.
tight end,
Yeah.
blocking on the edge on a lot of run
Mm-hmm.
plays, and I
Yeah.
don't know if that's what he thought he was going to be getting into when he got here, but I
Yeah.
mean he wasn't complaining. I guess that's something
Mm-hmm.
to just mention at least that he wasn't some complete asshole like some of
Yeah.
the receivers can be sometimes. He went out
Yeah.
there and he was doing the job he was given was in a job that I don't think any receiver wants to take, but he was willing to do it.
Yeah.
And then here we got a few linemen here in a row. We can take them all at the same time and talk through them a little bit. Chucks Okafor.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting 8 7 8. Or not, he's not getting. This is money they'll save if they were to
Yeah.
release
Yeah.
him. His actual salary is a little higher than this, and his cap hit will be a little higher than this. But 8.75 million for him. Nate Herbig 4 million, and then Mason Cole 4.75 mil to get rid of him. I personally I think all three can go in my eyes.
Yeah.
Mason Cole's
Yeah.
one of the worst centers in the league. Chuck's
Yeah.
lost his job, and then Herbig
Uh-huh.
really hasn't played much at all since they signed
Yeah.
him. So I'm ready for all three of them to go. To be honest.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. Everything you said is right. I think it's time to move off of them, and we definitely need to find a new center for sure. I don't know if we have to draft one or find somebody else in free agency, but Mason Cole, this whole season's been terrible with the snaps.
Yeah,
It's time for him to go, and yeah, it's time to get some new players on that O line for sure.
yeah. The snaps are the visible thing, but just the the quality of his blocking and everything hasn't been great
Yeah.
either.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
just across the board, I think it's time to move on from him. This
Yeah.
next name is an interesting one because it is a big name. Obviously, would be Patrick Peterson. Releasing him would save 6.8 million. I mean, as a cornerback, I think he's done. But
Yeah.
down the stretch at safety, I thought he played pretty well. It might be
Yeah.
an interesting move to put him out there at safety.
Yeah. I mean, you just never know with the injuries. I mean, he had one interception as a corner, and then he got one when they moved him to safety. He ended up getting an interception, and he definitely made some plays down the stretch to help out. he's like you said, he's as a cornerback, he's not there. As a safety though, yeah, he's able to make some plays. He's definitely another one that's getting older as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you maybe keep him as a backup. I don't know, but he's such a bigger name. Maybe somebody else wants to pick him up. I don't know. I mean, I think you put him back there with Minka. Maybe it might be a nice little duo. It just depends
Mm-hmm.
on if he's willing to take that safety spot or not. I don't know. It's just going to depend on that.
Yeah. And then I mean, if you get rid of him, you got to replace him.
Yeah,
And can
yeah,
he do it for that level of money? Probably,
yeah,
but I don't think it's a certainty for sure. And then here, the
yeah,
last name on here is Casey. I would keep Casey around. You're only gonna save
yeah,
$3 million if you
yeah.
get rid of him. I think he's a solid player. The suspension kind of ruined his season towards the end there, but
Yeah, yeah,
he's a guy I would keep around on this
yeah. I
list.
don't think he's a dirty player. I think just a hit that just happens, and you can't just because you see it not just with the Steelers. You see it throughout the whole NFL. Players making tackles, and it's just they're in awkward positions as it is when they go to try to make the tackle, and yeah, the suspension might have messed up the end of the stretch, but I think when he was playing, he was pretty decent. Yeah, I think it's somebody you can keep around for sure.
Uh-huh. And here are the two big situations I think that they have going in money wise this offseason. The first one would be the Deontay Johnson, and then Cam Hayward for the other one. Just going to Deontay Johnson. He has a $15.8 million cap hit. If you were to trade him, you could free up 10 million of that 15.8, and then maybe get a decent draft pick back. I don't know how you're feeling about Deontay right now. For me, I think it would depend a lot on what you get back in a trade. I don't see
Yeah,
any way you cut him. Um,
no,
he's a great receiver. There's no arguing that. It's just whether or not uh, he's worth the money as the team's structured, and
hmm
whether you can get more value by giving him up for something in a trade.
yeah.
But what are you
Yeah,
thinking?
I don't, I don't think you cut him, but I think you should explore options with trading him. I'm kind of done with him. Over the
The
past
drama
couple
is just so
years,
much.
yeah, the drama. That's just what it is. It's too much. I'm kind of ready to move off. And like I said, before the Steelers are able to find wide receivers in the draft or in free agency they can bring in. I mean, I think you bring somebody else in to kind of maybe a different veteran to kind of help mold Pickens. I just don't think Deontay Johnson's that type of leader on the offense, the veteran wide receiver for the Steelers right
Yeah.
now. All the dancing, all the drama, all the craziness going on. I think it's time for us to move off him. I don't think they take the cut, or take the hit with the cap and cut him. I think you do try to find a nice, decent trade, maybe get some type of pick that you can get in the draft for him. But I think it's time to move off of him with a trade.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like I'm not going to go out there and like try to sell him for nothing though. Like if it's like a
Yeah,
mid-round pick, there's no way I'm giving him up for a mid-round pick. It would
yeah,
have to be
yeah.
similar to the Claypool, early second round, maybe late first
Uh-huh.
round kind of pick. Um,
Yeah.
but there's just so many little things that are frustrating with him
Mm-hmm.
that it
Mm-hmm.
kind of overshadows how great a receiver he can be. Um,
Yeah.
so it's tough to
Yeah.
just give
Yeah.
away a talent. I mean, he is a talented player. Yeah, it is tough to give away a talent like that, but
Uh-huh.
I think there are scenarios where he's not a Steeler next year for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I agree.
Uh, and then on the other spectrum, I think when it comes to leadership and even bringing this up, you feel a little dirty and feel a little shitty. Is Cam
Mm-hmm.
Hayward? But the fact is, he's an aging guy, and he's going to be making he's going to be 22.4 million towards the cap next year. I mean,
Wow.
if he's healthy and playing the way he played the few years before his injuries, yeah, you
Uh-huh.
can deal with that money. But I mean, at the same time, you still don't want to deal with that money. There are ways you can cut that money down a little bit by restructuring, I guess, and switching
Yeah.
his salary. Like you can switch his salary to a couple year deal or something. to
Uh-huh.
make that 22.4 number shrink a little bit. What are your thoughts on something like that before we get into these other
Yeah,
scenarios?
yeah, I think a restructure would be nice. I mean, he's such a nice defensive leader for sure on the defense, and he's definitely taken, a lot of those guys under his wing. He's you always see him with TJ. I think once TJ came to the team, he definitely had TJ under his wing, and I think they have a great relationship, and I think he has a great relationship with a lot of the defensive players. I think he's one of the leaders that we do have on this team. Um, and it'd be nice to keep him around. Yeah, he is aging for sure, and that's something you got to look forward to as well because, as you get older, you're not as productive as you usually are when you're playing in your prime. But I still think maybe he might have another year or two left in him to kind of still be a decent player for us. So I think, if there is a way to restructure and he's willing, I think maybe they go that option for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the scenario I would want to see.
Hmm.
He's a made man in Pittsburgh. It
Hmm.
would be lovely that he's there forever.
Yeah.
Um, for his whole career. I mean, not literally forever.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and I got you. Yeah.
but like speaking of his whole career, I mean, with the struggles this year, health wise, I'm curious if maybe he does think about retirement.
Yeah.
What do you think of that idea? Do you think it's something that is going through his mind at this point?
It might he's been here for a while, and he's done a lot, and uh been definitely a big key player and playmaker for the Steelers defense. I wouldn't see that as an option, him not retiring. I mean, maybe he feels as though he's done and too many injuries have kind of kept him sidelined, and maybe he wants to be out there playing. But Father Time does like to win a lot of the time. So um, I mean, if he can, get healthy over this off season and feel as though he can play, I mean, hey, restructure it. But if he retires, I don't see that as an option not happening either. I mean, like we said, he is older, and so maybe he doesn't feel like he can do it anymore.
And then like the big elephant in the room is, what if they just decide it's time to move on and they cut him? Do you think
Uh,
how do you think that goes over in the city, and how do you think that would go over in the locker room? Let's go city first. What do you
yeah,
think? How do you think the city would take
for,
something like that?
I think because I think the city would be a little upset because outside off the field, he's always, I think, like for the past few years, he's always one of
Yeah,
the, what is it,
Walter Payton.
the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's always a
Uh
candidate
huh.
for that, and he does a lot for the community and things like that. And I think that this, like we talked about, he's a made man, there in Pittsburgh, and I
Yeah.
think that the city would not be too happy with him being cut from the team, and especially from the locker room. I mean, like we said, I think he's one of the pillars and definitely the big leaders of this team, whether it's on defense or just the team in general. And I think that a lot of people in that locker room also would be upset if they just cut him. I don't think that's an option the Steelers would do, but you just never know with today's NFL. It just might happen. You just never know.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the city. He's a big name out there. He's a big pillar in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
He I think part of you what you just got sometimes in this league you're gonna have to pay a tax for leadership
Yeah.
and for just a veteran presence. Sometimes in your
Yeah.
locker room you're gonna have to pay that a little extra amount of money that maybe you can look at it as early in his career and he's on his rookie deal. You're saving up something and now he's getting that money back on the back end for himself.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I don't think you can cut him and yeah, restructuring something. I think like his 16, he's owed 60, his base salary is 16 million. So you could
Mm-hmm.
work to make that into 2 years, and then it can cut down like $8 million
Yeah.
on the salary or something like that.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can do something like that. But yeah, I do think that you got to keep them, and I think we're both on the same
Mm-hmm.
page with
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We have
Yep, for sure.
that'll wrap up some talk on that free agency. I think we can hit that back during the off season for sure and look into some
Yeah.
moves and look into some guys to actually go out and hunt down and bring in and recruit into this team. But we can finish this off by just talking about the conference championship games this weekend and maybe
Yeah.
give our little predictions for these
Yeah, we
games here.
went we did 75% this
Nice.
divisional round. We got 3 out of 4.
Uh
So
huh.
we did a little
Getting
better
better.
this
Getting
time.
better.
Yeah.
Uh
For sure. Yeah.
huh. So the first game
Let's see.
Sunday
Yeah.
is the Chiefs at the Ravens. The Ravens are 4-point favorites over the Chiefs on that's Sunday at 3 o'clock on CBS.
Yeah, the way the season has been going with the Chiefs, it's almost like it almost seems like they want Taylor Swift there in the Super Bowl. I
Oh
you know,
no,
I
there we go. Where's the tinfoil hat at?
Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, no, you're not.
I think I'm not
No, you're
kidding. No,
not.
not at all. I think that's what the league wants. They want Taylor there.
uh,
But I think that the Ravens are definitely um well-rounded enough to win this game. I don't think they'll I'm not going to take the points. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's be closer than that. But I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I think that the Eagles are going to struggle with stopping Lamar on the run. I think he's going to make a lot of plays on the run, and I think he's going to make a lot of plays in the air. This might be a little bit of a high-scoring game, but I think the Ravens are going to win this one, and I think the final score is going to be I think the final score is going to be 41-38 Ravens over the Chiefs.
yeah, I mean the Ravens have had a great year where they've blown out some really good teams throughout the year, and it'll be it'll be interesting. I keep saying this, but like just looking back, they had 56-19 against the Dolphins, 33-19 against the Niners,
Yeah.
23-7 against the Jaguars, 37-3 against the Seahawks, 38-6 against the Rams. So against the two teams remaining in the NFC, 38-6 and 33-19. I mean, they have been the team of this season. 25-9 against the Ravens, against the Texans earlier. 34-10 last week against the Texans. So they should be the favorite in this game, and I just it's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a strong defense this year. So I got to take the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs. I think it'll be actually. I'm expecting a lower scoring game than you're thinking. I think we're going to be playing low 20s, 20 maybe 23-20 final score, something like that. But yeah, I just think that they're still the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, and they're gonna find a way. And maybe it is because I won Taylor in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Maybe. I look at it like this. This is 2 games in a row. Patrick Mahomes has to go on the road. I just don't see him winning 2 road playoff games in a row. Right now, I don't think he's there yet in his career, and I think he's gonna. I think they're gonna play well, but I just don't think they're gonna come out victorious.
He is one of the best road quarterbacks of all time. Not on the playoffs. This is only his second game, but
This is
in the regular
second
season,
game. Yeah.
Yeah, in the regular season, he's one of the best road players in the history of the league. I just think he's gonna go down as one of the top 3 greatest quarterbacks of all time. So I would not be surprised at all if he wins this game. And well, obviously since I'm picking him to win the game, but I got the Chiefs.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see who's right between the two of us this week. And I do see scenarios where the Ravens do what they did to everyone. They've done to every other good team really that they've played this year, and it's just blow them out and go on to the Super Bowl here. And then 6:30 on Fox, we got the Lions at the 49ers. How you feeling? How are you thinking?
I think this is going to be another one of those just offensive shootout games. I mean, you got 2 great offenses. The Lions have been phenomenal on offense this year, and the 49ers just have so many weapons on offense as well. I think this one is going to be it's going to be another 3-point game. I think it's going to be close as well. Um, you have two good teams offensively, but I think that the 49ers have a better team defensively, and they just have too many weapons. And as much as I want to see the Lions make the Super Bowl, I think it would be great, to have this nice little Cinderella story for the Lions to make it. I think they're going to come up short, a field goal short. I think this one's going to be another shootout. And I think this one is going to be even higher. I think I could see this one
Wow.
going. I could see this one going both in the 40s or even 50s for these
Okay.
two teams with the
Uh-huh.
offenses. I think it's going to be final score 48-45 49ers over the Lions.
Yeah, the spread is 7, which shocked me that the 49ers are a 7-point favorite in this game, and that actually swayed me a little bit. I think everyone is rooting for Detroit. Everyone wants Detroit
Yeah.
to win the Super Bowl this year, but the
Yeah.
fact that Vegas thinks that it's 7 points, that's swaying me to say that the Niners will win this game. Even if
Yeah.
I'm thinking like you, maybe it'll be 3 points or something like that. But yeah, I'll go Niners. I think they're just more of a complete team than the Lions at this point.
Yeah.
But I just I think Dan Campbell's a great coach, but Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan's probably like the best newer coach going right now
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
league. So it'll be a cool matchup. Uh, 40 points, yeah, maybe. I have a little too much respect for the Niners
Yeah.
defense. I think they'll keep it a little lower than that. But so I'll go something. Maybe I'll go 4 points just to make it different than your 3, and go with
Yeah.
34-30 as a final score. We'll go with that for
Okay.
me. Uh-huh.
Okay. So you have the Chiefs and the 49ers in the Super Bowl, and I have the Ravens and the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
Since we're doing conspiracy theories, what's your thoughts on the logo conspiracy theory that's been going on the
Oh
last
boy.
few years? The colors and the
Yeah.
logos.
I seen a little bit of that. And the other thing that's crazy with those logos, they say that the team that the color that's the least is the one that always won the most.
Uh-huh.
And which was crazy. So I was watching a little clip. It was the Bengals and the Rams, and the yellow was less than the orange, and then the Rams won that one. And then last year was the Eagles and Chiefs, and there was more green, or there was more green than red in the Chiefs one, which was the Chiefs were red. So this year they have the purple
It's mainly
and
purple,
red.
right?
Yeah, it's mainly purple, and making it
So
seem
we're
like
looking at
maybe
the
the 49ers
49ers.
will win over
49ers going to win it all.
over the yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
over the Ravens.
if it happens, if one, I mean, the Niners and the Ravens have been the best 2 teams all year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it does happen, it is going to be a little weird and a little creepy that it's been 3 years in a
Yeah.
row where they have picked
Yeah.
the right colors and all that. So it'll be fun to see
Yeah.
that.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I guess we go wrap up there. I thought it was a nice little talk on the free agency, Lee, and
Yeah. For sure.
We'll come back next week and talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, and then
Yeah.
maybe we'll spread our wings a little bit sports wise and bring in some other things with the Steelers season wrapping up a little bit, and a
Sounds
week
good.
before the
Yeah.
Super Bowl starts. Maybe we'll try to
Sounds
get some
good.
other talk in there. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
see you later.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Have a
Sounds
good
good. Have
week,
a good one.
everyone.
Yep.
I'll see you.
You too. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.